It feels great. It feels great just to be back in camp working again. So it's been awesome. I'm still learning names, and it's going to take me a few months. But so far, the welcome has been great. Again, I got my little brother in camp again, so we're having a blast.
Even after you signed, they started to add pretty nice pieces. How nice was that to see that almost as it validated your decision to come?
It was great, and as a free agent, which I've been a few times, you always hear that, regardless who you talk to or who you end up signing. There's always talk of, we're going to do more and we're not finished yet, and sometimes it works out, a lot of times it doesn't. But it was really neat, as soon as I signed to start seeing a lot of that going on, and keep adding pieces and building this club up was awesome. Because again, you hear it a lot. It's one thing hearing it, and another thing them going out and doing it, which they did.
Your reputation as being a leader, both in the clubhouse and on the field, like precedes you. How comfortable are you in that role and stepping right into a guy that everybody's looking at?
I'm fine with it. It just seems like it wasn't that long ago that I was 23, 24 years old, and now I looked at the roster the other day. I think I'm the oldest guy on our team again. This is like 2 or 3 years in a row. So that leadership role is interesting because it's I don't know that you can walk in anywhere and be a leader or be considered a leader. I think that's something that's earned, and it's no different here, regardless how old you are, how many years you've played. If I end up in that spot, great. I've been there before, and I love it. I love being the guy that people come to when things are going on, whether it's on the field, off the field, anything in general. So again, that didn't start today. That if and when that happens, that'll be down the road when I earn that with these guys. It's a different league, so I don't know a bunch of the guys over here. In the National League, I've got to know a lot of the guys. So when I move to another team, typically I know a handful of them. So it's be a little different, coming over here. But so far, so good.
Can you talk about your
along those lines? Washington, you had a deep roster with a lot of options in it and good players. You get any feel walking around the field here or looking in the clubhouse? Just kind of how the whole lineup shapes up and the options?
Honestly, not really, not yet. Again, that's going to take me a little time. Just not familiar with the American League in general and the White Sox and our roster and who's done what over the last couple of years. I'm still figuring that out. But just from everything I'm hearing and the excitement around here with the players and we were here. Today's the first day. We were here a week ago, and there was 30 guys here out hitting and taking swings. So the excitement's there, and we're going to hear all kinds of predictions, I'm sure. But I do know enough, and I've been around long enough to know that on paper that's one thing. We won't have a clue until we get out there and start the grind. So that time will tell on how good a club we're going to be.
Have you ever been on a team with so many new faces? And there's so many new faces on this team. Does that maybe help you?
No, never again, because I've spent my whole career, with the exception of 10 days in Boston or 7 days or whatever that was, in the National League. So yeah, this is pretty much all new faces to me. There's a couple guys I've got to know a little bit, and a couple guys I've played with in the National League, but yeah, overall I'm kind of starting over here.
Can you talk about your connection to Robin, back from when you were a kid and your dad was the bullpen coach, right, when he was just starting, I think?
Yeah, we were here in, I don't know if it was 91 or what his last year was, running around Old Comiskey. And it's funny, I'm still running into a lot of people here that worked at the old park and that remember, my brothers and I as little kids running around there. And that's some of my best memories, is getting to go to spring training with my dad and be around the field all summer long and get to know the guys. And obviously Robin was there; he was awesome. Bobby Thigpen was there in the bullpen with my dad, and Harold Bain, just a bunch of them. And I'm daily running into guys that were still there. So it's neat because now I get to bring my son out, Drake, who's 13, and he's been coming to spring training for years. he's probably got more time in the big leagues than most of our clubhouse in there. So to get for him to go and get some of the same memories that I had has been awesome.
You've obviously heard about Jose Abreu and his accomplishments. What's it like to, you were in his group today hitting, what's it like to kind of see it, and how impressive is it to watch it?
Well, you hear about all his accomplishments and numbers and what he's done. I didn't realize, you talk about leaders, even at his age, he's a guy that a lot of people look up to, and you can just sense that, with the coaches and talking with players. Work ethic is unbelievable. I mean, he's a special player. We have a little bit of a language barrier there that I gotta work on my Spanish a little bit. But I was able to reach out a little bit this off season, talk with him just via text messages, and just a class guy. So really do look forward to playing with him, and hopefully, I don't know how this is going to play out with the DH and first base. And Robin and I talked a lot this winter about it, and I'm great either way. If I end up DHing a lot more than playing first, that's fine. Hopefully be able to help Abreu a little bit, just defensively. Some of the stuff I've learned over there over the years, I'm more than happy to do that. But seems like an awesome kid.
How big of impact has your father had on your career?
I could go into that for a long time. The biggest thing I think my dad did when we were little is he never really pushed baseball. He was whatever we were into, he was for it at the time. And, I think because of that and never really, I don't want to say not taking it serious, but he was just up for, whatever sport we were in at the time. And then, taking us around the country with him. And I know now, having 2 kids, that it's not easy to pick up and haul your kids to spring training and move them, take them out of school, new little league teams. And he did that and allowed us to be around guys like Robin and some of the guys in there. And I don't know. I knew at a young age that this is what I wanted to do, and never really viewed those guys as, superhuman. So, yeah, huge impact, and still does. He's still the one I call when he knows my swing better than anybody, and he's the one that comes and throws BP to us in the winter. And, yeah, definitely one of my mentors.